Hello everybody, welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. In the last episode, we went to the first part of this trial, where we got to hear from good old Miss Oldbag. And as per usual, she was hiding shit from us, tried to be all sneaky. And today we're gonna question Mrs. Adrian Andrews and see what she did on the day of the murder. So without further ado, I think it's time to dive right back into it. I swear I can speak. It's just a meme at this point. I can't speak, I can't read. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. Is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one who came to wake me up. Then, dude, you say it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Get me a verdict that's fresh like a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix? You think her motive is related to Celeste's impacts as missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depending on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. That's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Miss Corrida. All to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. One thing bothers me. What? Who was that first told us about their relationship? Better said it, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts. It was Edgeworth. He looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Okay, I won't. Yes, ma'am. I will listen. I won't do anything stupid. I hope. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Prosecution calls a witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Miss Juan Corrida's room. She's still playing with that fucking card. I still want to know what that card is about. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Engard. I see. Now then, before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yeah, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. Oh no, I had no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was saying, Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter. Was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I mean, I think we kinda are. I think there's someone who begged to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. Okay, when I found the body. Let's see here. Shit. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Yeah, my exact thought, Judge. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. That is when the fingerprints on a wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix? She's one cool and collected customer. She has the brains to match. Yeah, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown up by things inconsistent with her thinking. You have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? Yes, ma'am. Understand, ma'am? I'm gonna press things, hoping just, you know, I don't get penalties, but you never know. What was Mr. Ongard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. Ongard did say he was taking a nap. And I guess you could say he could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you? Right? I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ongard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. No penalties. Why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, John was making an appearance with other heroes. The show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? I don't think I want to press further, honestly. I don't improve, she's not going to talk. Can you continue now, witness? What did you see when you got to his room? You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. Despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Miss Corrida. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. You can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with her being shocked or not. I see. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yeah, the one with the knife. This is a shit show of sound at the moment. Holy shit. Yes, the one with the knife lodger said, "Hello Andy, by the way, and yes, I've just got coconut malt." And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what do you do next, witness? Using, I'm wondering though why the sound alert things isn't popping up. That's peculiar indeed. Well, anyways. Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But I didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There was no lip marks left on his wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Sanders, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Concorida, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? I mean, I feel like I have to press further, right? Come on. You don't just say, oh, never mind, it wasn't anything, and I'm gonna let that be. You think I'm gonna let her be? Hell no. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that you, that as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Oh really now? Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, the people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. The thing is, in the photo, the case... So the problem I have here is the fact... Where is the... No. Where is it? In here. She says that it fell on top of the thing. But we know for a fact that... because of the guitar case, there's some water bottle on the top of the lid. But in the photo, it's open. So there's some horse shit she's pulling. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. Are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that a vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are of the vase. Vase, are scattered on the floor. What's wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, fuck. The glass shard should be inside, not outside the case. What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case. But it's all matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. May very well be. However... the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there are no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? I mean, yeah. Yeah, sure, why not? The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Huh. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like that. But it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along. For now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. And while she does that, I'm gonna take myself a sip of water. Because hydration is very important. Cheers. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. This seems sus. Incredibly sus. Alrighty then. It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. Its wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Oi. Shot it, edgy. I just wanna hit this. Is it? I mean... Wait. But could she? It only has Corita's fingerprints. Well, the music stops, so that's... I think I got it right. There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Huh. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? Why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony. So of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of crime. But that's... Yeah, wait. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? I mean... Let's see here. Bears Andrews' fingerprints. I have your proof right here. This wine glass. A wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this fine wine glass. Yeah. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? Did you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? What? Hold the fucking phone. Okay, we have seen some weird shit in these games, like the puppet exploding or people legit strangling themselves. Her glasses just disintegrated. I didn't even see. Let me see the clip. Yeah, just pull up a clip, and it just her glasses just went fucking Thanos on our asses, and just snap, gone. Order! 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 Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. Huh? What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. Aha, like this one. Haha. Yo, what the hell? Yeah, you see what I mean? See what I mean? You just, out of nowhere, just poof. I wonder if it was really was empty though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean... yeah, and then just casually... You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I mean, it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the windows was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic has worked. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... Alltså Felix keep cool Mia stood there with those melons. Because, remember, even though it's Mia, it's still the body of Pearl. It's still Pearl's body. And for reference, Pearl is 9. So that's a big woo! CIA, like FBI open up, you know, everything. So that's a big no-no. Your Honor, please recall that Miss Andrew has testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. Which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. Why does Pearl's body look like that? Okay, do you want me to do the whole possession thing again? So, when Pearl or Maya is possessed by a spirit, their body becomes whatever that person possessing them was. So, let's say that Gumshoe was dead, for example. And Pearl was possessed by the spirit of Gumshoe. Her body would become like Gumshoe. Dear, no, stop. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. You're so sure, Wright. Then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black... So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, Wright? I want to say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours, you haven't proved anything yet. Hold on, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? That is a very good question. Yeah, the badge, yes. Wait, I have, oh my god, what actually could have been, you know, it's only one penalty, but still, I don't like. It could have been a... Cause... wait. Because of... Let's see the other items. I think it's this. Like, not the photo specifically, but we saw the Nickel Samurai walk out of Corrida's room. But Matt was taking a nap. I think it's... This... Okay, the music changed. Music stopped. This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is... Inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right? Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to be doing something like that? And the same point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? Ah, she's sweating. She's sweating. I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? As I saw, the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? I do wish we would have, like, the samurai theme more often, because it's like one of the few themes in this game that isn't, like, annoyingly repetitive. Order! Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. The real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt Angard's. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places. True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the... I mean... I don't think it was stolen. But it's a costume. You can have a spare. Mr. Angar did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one. What? Trying to get my water off at the same time as pressing buttons is difficult. Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. I mean, I don't know why the fuck he did it, to take over the role. But why? The victim, Miss Corrida, was the jamming ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victims had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Right, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... Yeah, that is a good question. Okay, let's think about this. Why would Mr. Corrida have a Nickel samurai costume. What of ours would be a reason to why he would have it? Not any of these. Not the wine glass, not the guitar case. Wait a sec, I think I remember something very vaguely. If I remember correctly, Matt didn't know about this press conference thing. So I'm gonna gamble and see if this is it. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. Press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? Hey, I never make anything up. I just, anyways. What struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said that he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corrida was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. By confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corrida, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt Engard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Whatever that is. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just to say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. The person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. She's basically confessing to it at this point. Or am I wrong? But I feel like she's basically confessing to everything. I prepared the second costume. But then you just proven the fact that there's a second costume. You wanna bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? I'm getting more and more confused. And do you know what this secret of Miss Arngard's is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. Arngard? What do you mean, protect? Yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. I'm getting more and more confused with this shit. For a moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the butter and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. What? What? That does account for everything. No, what do you mean everything, Judge? Well, I am the logical type. Finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. And it means I have to put my weight into this and turn our logic upside down. I just need to read through this quickly. Matt was murdered, blah blah blah. Confirmed by the evidence. What do you mean by this? You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. During the fight, the killer ripped the button off from the Yemen in his costume. Talking about this button, correct? The button was found in the place of Matt's hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Look like being outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to the testimony. Was sworn off Juan during his fight with Matt. But no! But he was... Let's look at the photo again. But he was... Oh, where is it? Yes. Yeah, he was strangled to death. So how the fuck... This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly stated that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off of the costume. When? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means... It is impossible that this bottom was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Oh, her glasses didn't explode. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this bottom was ripped off during the struggle. This bottom was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body. Order! Order! But, okay. What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the bottom was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the bottom torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know that this bottom was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposefully rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this bottom? What was it? Well, no, it's to pin the crime on Engard because they found it in his costume. So they ripped it off to, like, it's like, oh no, that bottom was on the dead guy, but that guy has it. Like, it's obvious. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Engard. There's no way anyone would have put a bloodied button in their own pants. Yeah. That's right. Mr. Engard was set up by the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? I have to wonder how hard he hits that table to make it go boom. Probably pretty fucking hard. Can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. I mean, it has to be Andrews, right? Like, who else would want to frame Matt? Like, it's just Andrews, right? I can't think of anyone, like, possibly anyone else. Like, no one else has a motive, or like, wasn't near the thing, near the scene of crime. Miss Adrian Andrews, I choose you! Murder! No, you're Mr. Corrida's killer. What? There's your glasses again! Wow, how do you do that? How do you make your glasses just spontaneously explode? Or explode, disintegrate, like... Order! Miss Wright, it's a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Angard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. The only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. And then just casually, whoop. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Matt Angard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Pair number 4 at this point. How many glasses can cheat Thanos in the span of 2 minutes? The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Angard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap. Which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. The costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? Could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And the person is... you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. It was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass tomato use is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, it was a classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. Pair number 5. And to top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. Angard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? Got it this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes. You're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Ongard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. Okay. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. There's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? Hehehe. What's wrong, Wright? I finished already. Run out of evidence. What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you approve is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Corrida. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Corrida? Yes, you're 810, Matt. Jesus. That might be looking a bit papaya. I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! She's taking the defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there's only one thing that this court can do. That is to declare a recess. Recess? Request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true that Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation was something unrelated to whether she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there's one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaking up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again, as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whether we find out this testimony in no way implicate the witness. That's why Edgeworth is Edgeworth. He's pretty good at what he's doing. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but but I can't get a good read off him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. Court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. I still want to know about that fucking card she's swirling around. A glass of juice. I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in a messy state. It was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. So I went to pour in some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. You didn't fight. He had a knife through his chest. What are you on about? I didn't realize he was dead. Why didn't you say so in earlier testimony? I don't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. Can't find anything wrong with this testimony, and there's nothing left. I know. Henchworth. What the heck is going on in that brain of yours? And Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yeah, I already know where the fuck I'm going. I don't need to listen to this shit. The thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. Oh really now? Where's that fucking crime photo? There it is. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Ah! What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking through, straight out of Miss Criddle's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Pair number 6, by the way. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. You are the real killer. Fuck! Wait, I can still do it! Slight mistiming, but I don't care. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Not Angard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Quan. But you were the one who refused to testify. Your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I'll give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Then you don't get to have an opinion on this. And there's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt Angard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Angard. Ah, fuck! Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. Oh no. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. Fuck, Edgeworth. The absolute real truth? What are you... Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Angard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's... How you doing there, Nate? Thank you for coconut mauling. Impeccable timing. Yeah, alright. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over. A man would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Francisca von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of others. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Anger will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now, and is clinging on to them. Then, what should we do? This is the first time I ever come across anything like this. Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please, someone help me. Is it right? Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right? I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. It's a real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there. Right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you? Doing right. I request not guilty. No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person it could be. Not to mention, I don't have a choice. I had to win a complete acquittal today. Your Honor, the defense believes there is enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, we motion that this court passes a verdict of not guilty as soon as possible. I'm disappointed in you, Wright. What have you learned this past year? That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth? This witness, how should I put this? He has an illness. What? Because of this illness, she had tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah, that's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I'll now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop. I beg you. If you'll find out the true Nathan, yes. The truth. If you will find out, I'll. You're going to say you would choose death? That is of no concern to me. Jesus, Edgeworth. Just like, I don't give a shit if you kill yourself. What the shit, Edgeworth? Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I'll pull the truth from your still breathing lips. What the shit is this, no matter what I have to do? So, will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk. Oh, please, help me. How you doing, Nate? Nothing matters anymore. How you doing today, by the way, Nathan? Or Nate, whatever. Well, if Nathan. Fuck, now you stuck that in my head. God damn it, Nate. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. So when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. He's gonna suck the truth from her soul like a fucking dementor from her. It's like... It just like, instead of no happiness, it's just like, I need to know your secret. Isn't it obvious? You pin the blame on a certain person. I don't think I read what the judge said. Or whatever. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all this? Might take this court a little while to understand, but... this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again. Just like last time. I'm good. Also, Nathan works just never calling Nick and it works out. Alright. I was so tempted just to make you mad. I was so tempted. Last time. So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt Angard for the murder. This is her crime. What? How's this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? It's right. Please get over your shocking comments to cross-examination. Alright, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just gonna press everything like we usually do. But you could tell from the state of the room was in, there must have been a fight. Oh my god, that is funny as fuck. That is honestly funny as shit. I approve of that clip, Andy. I approve of it a lot. You're telling the truth when you say that you don't know he was dead. He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is a part of the Yamanina's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you've had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence to pin this crime on Matt. Can't believe you'd even consider it. Oh, calling you by the other name. I was about to say the other N-word there. That sounds really fucking bad. So the fourth piece of evidence were the knife and the button. First thing that came to mind was plant a knife. Not going in the YouTube video now. No, it still is, but you know. Dab, there you go. There you go, Andy. Oh, so you could get the knife, correct? Knife man used the dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Banana indeed. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. She was gonna use the banana. Yes. Stab the person with the banana. Stab the person. Gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. He thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Angar's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience? There was a woman who had a camera at the ready, loitering the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes if it was Lara. There was a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who prepared the costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold the press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's biggest secret there. And what is his secret? That, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Angard's room and planted the button? Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. And I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word. What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Angard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? He said that I should, under no circumstance, confess to what I had done. The judge. Whoa. Yeah, he does that a lot. The judge, honestly, the thing is, as clueless as we can be, as, you know, like, as Phoenix and everything, and I'm playing the game, the judge is always just like, I had no idea. I don't know why this happened. How can this be? If I just kept quiet, the man would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. Okay. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, you can be certain she's not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Yeah, no, yeah, we're fucked, aren't we? Right? It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Mr. Andrews of anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The examination of this witness is now over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. Prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That's all. Court is adjourned for today. Yeah, off with me as head, I guess. Why are we still in the courtroom? There's the thumbnail! Today's trial. It's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I ask you something? Edgeworth. What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright, I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. So, Wait, you're telling me she's literally been twirling evidence in front of our fucking faces this entire time? It's just like, you see this card right there? This was in the room on that day. Oh, you see this? Found that card. Yeah, next to the victim's body? It's possible must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not that this card has any relevance to Kwan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness, that card. Give it to me. Hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This. I cannot believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. I mean, in her defense, Edward, she didn't really hide it because she's been fucking twirling it this entire time. What is this all about? I've never seen Edward so emotional before. A card. What in the world is it? What does it mean? To be continued. Oh shit. Well, Maya's dead. Calling card? Maybe? I mean, to be fair, the dude, it's, let's be honest, it's probably like, as you say, a calling card for the dude that's kidnapped Maya. But I don't know. It could be anything. But that being said, that's gonna be the end of this episode. Fucking weird ass episode it's been, from me going fucking all Cthulhu to getting coconut mauled twice. Did you watch the video I sent you yet? When did you send it? And where did you send it? I don't remember. But Days Eternal. Yeah, I kind of remember. I think I've seen it. I don't remember it that well. But yeah. That being said, that's gonna be it for this episode. So in the next episode, where I have no clue what the hell we're going with this. Maybe we'll find out why Edgeworth was so excited about that card, or why he was like, give it to me now. But so yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching this episode. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button to know whenever I post a new video, as I do so as often as I try. Often as I can. Once again, I always say this, but I really should write down what to say at the end here. But yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching. I wish you guys a very nice continuing evening, afternoon, morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. So have a good one, everybody. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in said next episode.